A very good morning. You're watching the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television. My name is Aishwarya Kapoor, and in the next 30 minutes, I'll be getting you the biggest stories from India and across the world. Let us start with the headlines. BJP's two-day national executive meeting begins in Bhubaneswar today. All union ministers, the chief ministers of 13 BJP-ruled states, 3 deputy chief ministers to attend. Party to discuss past successes and future plans. Set sight on 2019 Odisha polls. Counting of votes for by-poll to Srinagar Lok Sabha constituency takes place today. After violence hit election day, 2% turnout was seen during repolling. Result for a Sikkim Assembly constituency also to be out. India to appeal against the death sentence handed down to former Navy officer Kulbhushan Jadhav, tells Pakistan to give Jadhav charge sheet, consular access. US military defends the use of massive bomb in Afghanistan, says the decision based purely on tactical considerations. 36 suspected militants reported to be killed in the attack. And 2 Indians in action at Singapore Open Badminton today. Srikanth and Sai Praneeth to play their respective semi-final matches today. Our top story this morning, the BJP's two-day national executive meeting will begin today in Bhubaneswar. Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and BJP veterans L.K. Advani and Murli Manohar Joshi will also be among those who would be joining the deliberations. Well, according to Union Minister of State for Petroleum and Natural Gas, Dharmendra Pradhan, Odisha will be the Prime Minister Modi's laboratory for the testing of several welfare schemes targeted at the economically weaker sections. Well, the Prime Minister is likely to arrive in Bhubaneswar this afternoon. He will proceed to the Raj Bhavan and then attend the National Executive Meet at the Janta Maidan. Well, all the chief ministers of the BJP-ruled states will attend the party's highest policy-making body conclave. BJP President Amit Shah arrived in Bhubaneswar yesterday for the meet. Well, the party is also likely to chalk out a strategy for the upcoming assembly polls in 7 states, including Odisha. And on to the other top story. Well, stepping up efforts to secure the release of Kulbhushan Jadhav, well, India on Friday demanded certified copies of the charge sheet in the case and also sought consular access to the former Navy officer. Remember, Jadhav has been sentenced to death by a military court in Pakistan on the charges of spying. Now, Pakistan says that the death sentence was based on credible and specific evidence. Well, on Friday, Home Minister Rajnath Singh asserted that India will go to any extent to ensure justice to Jadhav. He added that Jadhav was denied a fair trial in Pakistan. Well, at a press conference in Kolkata, he reiterated that all efforts are being made to ensure that the Indian national gets justice.
सारे efforts हो रहे हैं और कुलदीप यादव के साथ justice हो, इसके लिए जिस हद तक जाना होगा भारत सरकार जाएगी.
क्या उनको ट्रांसपेरेंट ट्रायल मिला है पाकिस्तान में? क्या मानते हैं?
मैं मानता हूं कि नहीं मिला.
Well, India has got no response from Pakistan over consular access to Kulbhushan Jadhav. Well, Pakistan maintains that it has worked with due process of law. Well, Pakistani stonewalling on the matter is the now triggering speculation as to what is the real motive behind Jadhav's arrest. Here are all the details.
Indian High Commissioner in Pakistan Gautam Bambawale took up the case of Kulbhushan Jadhav with Pakistan Foreign Secretary Tehmeena Janjua on Friday afternoon. Bambawale reportedly sought the whereabouts of the Indian citizen and demanded consular access to him. He also demanded a charge sheet and copy of the court verdict against Jadhav. However, he reportedly got no assurance on any of his demands to the Pakistani Foreign Secretary. India has maintained that Jadhav's arrest and death sentence in Pakistan is wrong.
मैंने फॉरेन सेक्रेटरी साहिबा से 2 चीज़ें कही थी और ये 2 चीज़ें ये हैं कि सबसे पहले भारत सरकार की ये मांग है कि जो कुलभूषण जाधव के खिलाफ जो चार्ज शीट है और कुलभूषण जाधव के खिलाफ जो मिलिट्री कोर्ट का जो फैसला है, इसके हमें सर्टिफाइड कॉपीज़ चाहिए. और दूसरा मुद्दा मैंने फॉरेन सेक्रेटरी साहिबा से ये कहा कि हमने पिछले कुछ महीनों में 13 बार लिखित में कुलभूषण जाधव का कॉन्सुलर एक्सेस मांगा है। आज तक इसका कोई जवाब मिला है, ना कॉन्सुलर एक्सेस मिली है।
Pakistan's foreign policy advisor Sartaj Aziz, however, rebutted India's demand. He claimed that India also has not given consular access to many Pakistani citizens who are in Indian jails.
We now expect India to behave responsibly and refrain from issuing statements that will further aggravate people-to-people hostility.
बहुत साफ शब्दों में कहा है कि उनको कहना कि वो जासूस थे, ये काल्पनिक बात है। कोई जासूस अपना पासपोर्ट लेके किसी देश में नहीं जाता है। और हमने ये भी कहा है कि अगर उनके खिलाफ कोई कार्रवाई होती है तो हम इसको प्रीमेडिटेटेड मर्डर मानेंगे।
However, Sartaj Aziz said India can use the right to appeal to Army Court within 40 days and then to Chief of Army Staff in 60 days and then to President within 90 days after exhausting the two former options. Seeing the hesitation in giving consular access to Kulbhushan Jadhav, speculation is gaining ground in India that Jadhav might even have been eliminated.
These are statements being made by Pakistanis, functionaries, present and past. Even Kasuri's made certain statements, but I am absolutely convinced beyond an iota of doubt, all these are afterthoughts. Even the Pakistani Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif had no clue whatsoever about the trial of this Indian.
कुलभूषण जाधव जो एक भारतीय नागरिक है, उसको अपहरण करके एक कैंगरू प्रोसेस के तहत मौत की सजा सुनाई गई है और आज पूरा मुल्क कुलभूषण जाधव के पीछे खड़ा है और पाकिस्तान अगर उसके खिलाफ ऐसी घिनौनी कार्रवाई करता है तो फिर उसका अंजाम पाकिस्तान को भुगतने के लिए तैयार रहना चाहिए।
The situation has been complicated further, with the Pakistani Bar Council issuing notice to all its members not to take up Jadhav's case. No Indian advocate can be deployed for the case without the permission of Pakistan's authorities.
Pakistan is giving no reason why India cannot be given consular access to Mr. Jadhav. That is why there is doubt whether it is a case of extreme torture to the Indian citizen. If it is contravention of Vienna Convention and the whole international practice towards the other countries' citizens. Pakistan has to reply it. Akhilesh Suman for Rajya Television with camera person Vijay Kumar in Delhi.
On to some other news now. Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was in Nagpur yesterday, where he paid rich tributes to Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar. He attended Digidhan Mela in the city and formally launched the biometric-based payment system, the BHIM app. Well, this app, which is linked with Aadhaar, will allow users to make payments through a fingerprint scanner by authenticating the Aadhaar biometric details of a user.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi formally launched the Aadhaar-linked Bharat interface for money or the BHIM app in Nagpur on the 126th birth anniversary of Dr. Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar. He also announced cashback and referral bonus schemes to incentivize digital payments towards a clean India. Speaking at an event organized by Niti Aayog, Modi said that the Digidhan movement is aimed at fighting the menace of corruption.
भारत के संविधान में सामान्य मानवी को हक देने का काम जिस तरीके से भीमराव अम्बेडकर ने किया है, उसी तरीके से भीम ऐप अर्थव्यवस्था के महारथी के रूप में काम करने वाली है। ये मेरे शब्द लिख करके कोई रोक नहीं पाएगा। 2022 जब आजादी के 75 साल हो, तब मेरे देश के गरीब से गरीब का अपना घर हो। इस देश का कोई गरीब ऐसा न हो जिसको अपना रहने के लिए घर न हो, अपनी छत न हो।
The Prime Minister inaugurated 14 units of thermal power plants at Koradi, Chandrapur and Parli with a total capacity of 3,230 megawatts. He also laid the foundation stone for a new AIIMS hospital, IIM and IIT in the city.
और आप जब नितिन जी बड़े गर्व के साथ बता रहे थे कि नागपुर वासियों का जो गंदा पानी है वो बिजली के उत्पादन में काम लाया जाता है, रिसाइकल किया जाता है, एक प्रकार से पर्यावरण के अनुकूल ये इनिशिएटिव है। मैं इसके लिए नागपुर को बधाई देता हूं। महाराष्ट्र के और देश के नौजवानों को अपना भाग्य बनाने के लिए, आधुनिक भारत बनाने के लिए, अपनी योग्यता बढ़ाने के लिए इन संस्थानों के द्वारा अवसर मिलेगा। मेरी युवा पीढ़ी को बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं हैं। ये आज जब मैं उनको, मेरे देश की युवा पीढ़ी को ये अर्पित कर रहा हूं।
On his arrival in Nagpur, Prime Minister visited Diksha Bhumi, the place where Dalit icon and principal architect of the Constitution of India, Dr. Ambedkar, embraced Buddhism and offered his prayers. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Well, the counting of votes for the by-polls to Srinagar Lok Sabha constituency and Sikkim Assembly constituency is underway at the moment. In Srinagar, the electoral fates of 9 candidates, including National Conference President Farooq Abdullah, will be known today. Well, Abdullah is locked in a direct contest with ruling PDP's Nazir Ahmed Khan. The counting of votes is taking place at Sher-e Kashmir International Convention Centre from 8 in the morning. Well, the by-poll to Srinagar Lok Sabha seat was held on 9th of April, with the constituency recording its lowest voter turnout of 7.13%. Meanwhile, polling in Upper Burtuk Assembly constituency in Sikkim was held on 12th of April. More news from Jammu and Kashmir. Well, 5 people were arrested on Friday in connection with the assault on CRPF men during a 9th of April by-poll in Budgam district of Srinagar parliamentary state. Well, the state police registered an FIR after video of local youths beating soldiers went viral. Well, the video shows a few young men heckling and attacking CRPF jawans carrying EVMs on poll duty in Srinagar. It also shows the jawans exercising restraint and avoiding retaliation even though they were armed. Well, the army is also investigating now the authenticity of another viral video in which a youth was seen tied allegedly to an army jeep as a human shield went against stone pelting. Well, the video sparked an outrage by former Chief Minister Omar Abdullah, who found it shocking. The video was also reportedly shot in Birwa area of Budgam district that is represented by Abdullah.
किसने वीडियो लिया है, किसने वीडियो बनाया, किसने पोस्ट किया है, कुछ नहीं पता। तो मैं वीडियोस के ऊपर कमेंट नहीं करता हूं। अगर मैं वहां पर होता तो आपको बताता। और ये मामला जो है गृह मंत्रालय का है, तो गृह मंत्रालय की तरफ से कोई उस पर कमेंट आएगा तो ज्यादा अच्छा है।
निश्चित रूप पर जो सीआरपीएफ के जवान के साथ जो हुआ है वो बेहद गलत है और उन लोगों के खिलाफ एक्शन होना चाहिए जिन्होंने ऐसे किया।
मुझे लगता है कि कश्मीर में या देश के किसी भी हिस्से में इस तरह की जो हरकतें हैं वो अनएक्सेप्टेबल हैं और कश्मीर के नौजवानों को मैं यही कहना चाहूँगा कि जिस तरह से वो एक सीमा पार से प्रायोजित होकर के इस तरह की हरकतें कर रहे हैं उसका उनको फायदा नहीं होगा।
And news from the national capital now. Well, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal demanded that the municipal polls be postponed by a month or two till arrangements are made to use VVPAT-equipped machines along with the EVMs. Well, Arvind Kejriwal met the Delhi State Election Commissioner and alleged that the redundant pre-2006 EVMs can be easily hacked and those machines should not be used in the upcoming municipal polls. Well, the State Election Commissioner, however, has rejected the proposal, saying that there was no provision to postpone the elections. Well, Delhi Chief Minister insisted that under the Delhi Municipal Corporation Act, the centre has the power to extend the tenure of the civic bodies by at least 1 year. Now, according to the Election Commission, the EVMs is electronically protected to prevent any tampering or manipulation. Now, Arvind Kejriwal has been raising the issue of alleged EVM manipulation since the Punjab poll verdict, where the AAP finished a distant second. News from Uttar Pradesh now, and the state government on Friday signed an agreement with the Centre for Power for All. Well, the agreement was signed in presence of Chief Minister Adityanath Yogi and Union Power Minister Piyush Goyal in Lucknow. Well, Uttar Pradesh was the only state which had not signed the scheme aimed at providing power to all. The 24/7 toll-free number was also activated across the state for the people to complain about any power-related issues. Well, an MOU was also signed for providing of 10,000 solar panels by the centre. Well, a scheme of providing LED bulbs, tube lights and energy-efficient fans at cheap rates was also kicked off. Well, Union Power Minister Piyush Goyal took a dig at the previous Akhilesh Yadav government for not implementing central schemes in the state and accused them of leadership crises.
एकमात्र उत्तर प्रदेश था जहां 3 वर्ष से केंद्र सरकार लगातार प्रयास कर रही थी कि उत्तर प्रदेश के भी लोगों को इसका लाभ मिले, पर असमर्थ थी इस कार्यक्रम को आगे बढ़ाने में। आज माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार, केंद्र सरकार मिलके इस 24/7 पावर फॉर ऑल उत्तर प्रदेश को भी उस योजना के साथ जोड़ के मैं समझता हूं एक बहुत बड़ा मैसेज पूरे उत्तर प्रदेश में जा रहा है कि अब अच्छे दिन आए हैं।
Now, staying with Uttar Pradesh, and BSP Supremo Mayawati on Friday appointed her brother Anand Kumar as the party's vice president. She also informed her party workers that her brother, however, will never contest elections to become an MP, MLA or the chief minister. Well, the announcement was made during a party function held in Lucknow on the occasion of 126th birth anniversary of B.R. Ambedkar. While addressing the program, Mayawati also maintained that she had no reservations in aligning with other parties in her struggle against the BJP on the issue of EVM tampering in the recently held assembly polls in Uttar Pradesh. Well, her brother Kumar has been facing an IT and ED inquiry into his alleged links to bogus companies.
उत्तर प्रदेश में ही नहीं बल्कि पूरे देश भर में इनके अनुयायियों के वोटों के स्वार्थ में अब सभी विरोधी पार्टियां व उनकी सरकारें इनकी जयंती मनाने लगी हैं और इस मौके पर किस्म किस्म के सरकारी व गैर सरकारी कार्यक्रम भी आयोजित करने लगी हैं। लेकिन इसके बाद फिर पूरे साल भर तक ये सभी विरोधी पार्टियां अपनी जातिवादी मानसिकता के तहत चलकर इनके अनुयायियों का हर स्तर पर शोषण भी करती हैं।
And for more news from across the country, let's go nationwide. Newly formed political party Swaraj India on Friday promised an epidemic-free, garbage-free and pollution-free Delhi if voted to power in the MCD polls later this month. By releasing its Saaf Delhi manifesto, Swaraj India President Yogendra Yadav said that the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Aam Aadmi Party were responsible for the poor state of 3 civic bodies for which elections are being held. Manipur Health and Family Welfare Minister Jayanta Kumar Singh has resigned, citing interference in his authority a month after being sworn in as the minister. In the resignation letter to the Chief Minister, Jayanta Kumar said that he had been working with certain visions. As per reports, N. Biren Singh said that he neither received the Health Minister's resignation letter nor has any information about it. Former Jammu and Kashmir Governor Girish Chandra Saxena, also known as the Gary, passed away on Friday in New Delhi after a brief illness. He was 90. He served as the governor twice, in 1990 and in 1998. J&K Governor N.N. Vora and Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti have expressed grief over the demise and have conveyed their condolences to the bereaved family. And in Breakfast News, we'll take a very short break. Up next, we have all the international and sports news. Stay with us.
The subject that I work on is called string theory, and it in fact took 10 years to discover this. So one of the reasons why string theory has not been dead is because it is a fully mathematically consistent theory. Scientists really don't work for money.
Watch Eureka with Dr. Ashok Sen, Professor at Harish Chandra Research Institute, Allahabad, only on Rajya Sabha television.
The sacred relics of Buddha were unearthed in Piprava in Uttar Pradesh. Buddhist monks from all over the world
visit the National Museum to pay their respects. These charred bone fragments of Buddha are housed in the gold canopy gifted by the royal family of Thailand.
Well, welcome back after the break. Well, a top US military commander in Afghanistan says that the decision to use a powerful bomb in the country was based purely on tactical considerations. Well, General John Nicholson said that the most powerful non-nuclear bomb ever used by the United States in combat had been the right weapon to target a suspected Islamic State base in Nangarhar province. He added that a 300-meter-long network of tunnels and caves was destroyed. Well, known as the mother of all bombs, or MOAB, the device was dropped on a Thursday evening in Achin district of the country. Well, Afghan officials say that the US coordinated the attack with Afghanistan. About 36 suspected militants were killed, according to Afghan officials, but IS has denied suffering any casualties.
This weapon was the appropriate weapon to use against this target, and prior to this, we didn't have such a target. I am fortunate in that my chain of command allows me the latitude to make assessments on the ground, to operate within my authorities. Of course, we communicate constantly up and down the chain of command about what we're doing here on the ground. This was the right weapon against the right target.
And in related news, in order to find a solution to the ongoing turmoil in Afghanistan, now India, Pakistan, China and Russia on Friday deliberated on the situation in Kabul at a conference in Moscow. Well, several Central Asian nations also participated in the conference, which was organized a day after the US dropped the mother of all bombs in Afghanistan's Nangarhar province. Well, representatives from the leading regional powers reviewed the peace process in Afghanistan. They also discussed the security situation, besides exploring ways to ramp up reconstruction activities in the country. Well, the conference is also understood to have dwelt on boosting regional coordination for bringing peace and stability in Afghanistan. Well, the conference is believed to be an initiative of Russia, China, Pakistan, and it is for the second time that India is participating in this. And more international news, well, North Korea has accused Donald Trump of raising tensions in the region and has warned that the regime would conduct nuclear tests when it sees it fit. Meanwhile, China has warned that the conflict could break out any moment as the tension over North Korea has escalated. Well, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi said that if a war occurred, there would be no winner. Well, Wang's comments came after the US voiced concern over increasing tension in the region and North Korea's development of nuclear weapons and deployed a Navy carrier group off the Korean peninsula. Well, China, North Korea's only backer, fears that conflict could cause the regime to collapse and create problems on its border. Well, China is concerned that any conflict could also reach to a huge refugee problem on its border with North Korea. But in a sign of growing frustration with its neighbor, it recently blocked coal imports from the north. Well, Trump and China's President Xi Jinping have been in contact by phone since their summit last weekend in Florida, and media reports have quoted US officials as saying that tougher economic sanctions against North Korea are also being considered.
In regards to North Korea, we are working with international partners in order to diffuse the situation, but the bottom line is North Korea has got to change its behavior. That is an agreed position among the international community, nations that are working together on this. Thank you again very much.
С большой беспокойностью наблюдают за эскалацией напряженности на Корейском полуострове. Мы призываем все страны к сдержанности.
News from the Middle East now, and Russia has demanded an investigation by the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, or OPCW, into the chemical weapons attack in Syria last week. Well, foreign ministers of Russia, Syria and Iran insisted on an investigation at a joint news conference in Moscow following their trilateral talks. Well, the 4th of April attack in the town of Khan Sheikhon, blamed by many governments on the forces of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, killed scores of people and prompted the US to launch a missile strike on a Syrian airbase in response. Well, a senior Russian diplomat has also said that the probe into the chemical attack in Syria should include experts from Brazil, India, Iran and other nations. Well, a deputy foreign minister, Sergei Ryakov, insisted that inspectors from the OPCW should visit both the Syrian airbase, which the US said had served as a platform for the chemical attack, and the areas of the attack as soon as possible.
Настаиваем на проведении тщательного, объективного, непредвзятого расследования обстоятельств применения химических веществ в Хан-Шейхуне 4 апреля, чтобы такое расследование было организовано под эгидой Организации по запрещению химических.
More news from across the world now in World Wrap. Iran's President Hassan Rouhani has registered to run for a second four-year term in the elections to be held in May. He will face front-runner Ibrahim Raisi, who is close to the supreme leader Ayatollah Khamenei, and former President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. Well, Rouhani came to power in 2013 with a landslide victory. Thousands of people were evacuated from villages near Damascus under a sweep deal between the Syrian government and insurgents. Some 5,000 people were evacuated from the true pro-government areas near Aleppo, while over 2,000 opposition fighters were moved from two opposition-held areas near the capital, Damascus. The evacuations form part of a deal to evacuate some 30,000 Syrians from pro-government and pro-rebel besieged areas over the next 2 months. 30 people were injured in stampedes during Good Friday processions in the Spanish city of Seville. 8 people were arrested over incidents and they were charged with public disorder offences. The Easter processions are part of a weekend of religious festivities in Seville. And on to some sports news now. Well, ace Indian quist Pankaj Advani won his 7th Asian title by defeating Saurav Kothari 6-3 in an entertaining final of the Asian Billiards Championship in Chandigarh. Well, the first session saw Kothari run away with a 3-1 lead before the interval. However, the 16 times world champion came back in a stunning fashion to win the next 5 frames on a trot to clinch the title. Advani will now switch to snooker to compete in the Asian Snooker Championship in Doha, which begins on 22nd of April. And news from the world of badminton now, when shuttlers K. Srikanth and Sai Praneeth will play their semi-final matches of Singapore Open Super Series tournament today. Well, in the quarterfinals on Friday, Srikanth east-passed a Chinese 5th seed Shi Yugi 21-14, 21-16. to set up a last 4 clash against Indonesian Anthony Sikisuka in the semi-final. Well, Praneeth, on the other hand, had to toil hard for his 15-21, 21-14, 21-19 win over 8th seed Tonong Sang of Thailand. He will next face Korea's Lee Dong-kwen for a place in the final. However, it was curtains for Olympic silver medalist PV Sindhu, who lost her quarter-final match against rival Carolina Marin of Spain. Sindhu lost in straight sets, 11-21, 15-21. The mixed doubles pairing of Ashwini Ponnappa and B. Sumit Reddy also lost their quarter-final match. Well, that's it from the entire Breakfast News team at the moment. But news and updates continue on Rajya Sabha television. Thanks for watching.